Man, have things changed in the last year and a half. About the turn of the year, coming into 2013, everybody said the Republicans were dead. They said the Republicans were dead after the election, 2012. But in 2013, you had Ted Cruz running around with his little personal debate for hours and hours, trying to shut down the government, stop Obamacare. The sequestration was in there, and government was shut down. Democrats were laughing. Couldn't lose. Republicans make everything look so bad. What Democrats were missing, which was what we were saying since well before the 2012 election, is that people are just unhappy. Period. Unhappy. Doesn't matter Democrat or Republicans. So what happens? Here we are a year and a half later, sequestration issue's over. No more problems with making deals concerning the keeping the government open. And Obamacare is under total and complete and absolute attack. The president, for some reason, keeps backing off, making changes more and more so that it really isn't even in effect any longer. Democratic senators who are up for re-election are running from it, and the Republicans are on top of the world. And you listen to Chris Matthews crying and Rachel Maddow all bummed out, and Lawrence O'Donnell, and they're all saying it's time for the Democrats to get hot and start putting together a platform. Well, they are correct. You can't keep running away. You got to deal with things. But these platforms they're talking about make absolutely no sense. Environmental warming, environmental change. Yeah, that's not going to make people come out and vote. Minimum wage. Not a bad idea, but that's not going to make people come out and vote. This thing with the overtime, that's not going to make people come out and vote. Women's rights. What's women's rights? Most women are bummed about what's going on in the economy. They have most of their rights. Most Americans are not going to go back to the days of pre-abortion. We're not going to put up with that. So to talk about that kind of stuff doesn't make any sense. And to try to speak Spanish and talk to Americans who are Hispanic, who have Hispanic background, what's that going to do? It's the same old thing. Jive. And the Democrats are going to get killed. We have to start talking, the Democrats have to start talking about a new platform. And that platform has to talk about the future. What are we going to do with Obamacare? We should take it and make it work, not talk about having to work with Republicans. This is the plan if I'm the president or I'm running for Senate, I'm going to make it work because we needed health care. And everybody agrees we need a new health care system. So this is what we're going to do to make it work. The Republicans have 25 different ones, so it's easy for a candidate in the Democratic Party to come down and just say, this is what I'm going to do. Not that I'm going to work with everybody. We all know that. People don't care as much about that as they say. This is what I'm going to do. I also have to start looking at the future even more. As isolationist as this country is, we still have to be concerned about the problems that we've got with other countries out there. Vladimir Putin does not care about the 21st century or the 22nd century. Vladimir Putin just cares about making Russia great, in his mind, whatever great is, and bringing us down. There are things we have to do. I'm not necessarily talking military. We can get into that later. But the platform has got to be about cybersecurity. Why aren't we talking about that? Where is the government research and development on cybersecurity? So not only can we be secure from cyber attacks, or as much as possible, but the best defense is a good offense. We should be setting up our cyber strength in such a way that if we have to go on the attack, we can really go on the attack. Yeah, they talk about Sputniks that went through in Iran and shut down their nuclear program for a little bit, but that's not the answer. The answer is being prepared for a major cyber attack while being at the same time prepared to attack back and do whatever it takes to take down the technology of another country that attacks us. Just has to be done. What about another research project about what they call batteries, and we like to call energy storage units? So I always say, gas tank in a car is an energy storage unit. We are now seeing their attacks upon our infrastructure, our utilities. If we have energy storage units that are small and can store energy in our homes individually, we could put solar panels on those homes, take the energy, keep the energy, and if we get shut down nationally by utilities, At least individually, people will have power. They will be able to live in their homes, be able to maintain other essential services that we have to maintain. We need energy storage units. Why aren't we talking about that, about going forth research towards that for our own protection as we move forward? What are we going to do with oil and gas as we use that as a bridge, especially gas, over to solar and all other alternative powers? How are we going to use that to be able to protect ourselves so we don't have to worry about others coming after us and shutting down our energy and having to worry about it down the road? What are we going to do? These are some of the things we have to talk about. These are liberal agendas. We have to talk about jobs. How are we going to get jobs for people? Income inequality is a joke. It doesn't work. You keep talking about that. The Republicans jump up and down and go, come on, it matters how hard you work. The issue is jobs. We have to get jobs for people. We and Democrats have to now start talking about how we get jobs, how we make jobs. What has happened is all the money's gone to the super wealthy during the Obama administration. Period. There's no middle class. The middle class is wiped. How do we get jobs? How do we focus on building jobs so that it's not just education, but how some of this research and other things, so that the big 1% doesn't make all this money and pile it in and be more productive and then be able to put the money in their pockets, while at the same time the middle class that's struggling, the older people that are struggling, will be able to be in a position where they can work, get a job, and move forward. Yeah, it's a lot of talk, but we'll have ideas about jobs later. It's a positive, it's a proactive platform we need. The president and the Senate are reactive. Nothing is happening there. It's proactive. It's going to be proactive. That's why the Republicans are doing so well. They're proactive. Whether you agree with them or not, they're proactive. And Democrats have to start getting proactive and take the platforms away from the Republicans and move forward, and not the old junk and not the old jive. MSNBC, wake up. Democrats, wake up. We need two parties. We need some real arguing going on here and real debating. Let's see some new ideas. Let's rock and roll. It's 2014 and it's going to be 2016. It's time to make things happen. Peace.